Once upon a time, in the sun-kissed lands of Sealanya, there existed a place that promised enchantment and joy, a place known as Sealanya Dolphinpark Seapark. It was a realm where the laughter of children and the whispers of the sea seemed to dance in harmony. But beneath the surface of this promised paradise lurked a tale so sorrowful it could sour the sweetest of memories. It began on a day much like any other, with the sun casting golden hues across the azure waters. My family, a small troop of dreamers, had ventured forth, our hearts brimming with anticipation. We had heard tales of dolphins that danced with the grace of the stars and sea lions that held the secrets of the deep. With pockets lighter and spirits high, we embarked on what we thought would be a journey of wonder. As we approached the gates of Sealanya, a chill ran down my spine, a premonition perhaps of the melancholy that awaited us. We were greeted not with warmth, but with the cold, calculated gaze of a money changer in a temple of supposed delight. The prices they quoted were akin to ransom demands for royalty, not the fair rate for a family's fleeting joy. 140 per person, they said, for a brief embrace with a dolphin, a creature that knew not the value of the pound nor the weight of our expectations. The audacity. To think that after extorting such a sum, they would have the gall to charge extra for the simplest of pleasures to witness the dolphin's performance, a spectacle that should have been included in the exorbitant fee. And oh, the photos. They dangled before us the promise of preserving our memories in digital amber, but at a cost that seemed to mock our desire to capture happiness. 30 for a single photograph, a fleeting moment frozen in time, yet somehow it felt as though we were the ones being robbed of our very soul. The park was a labyrinth of hidden fees, each turn revealing another hand reaching for our wallets. The staff, as cold as the waters they claimed to cherish, pushed their overpriced wares with the subtlety of a street hawker. They spoke in whispers of deals and packages, but their words were empty, devoid of the joy and passion one should feel when surrounded by such majestic creatures. The dolphin swim, a mere 5 minutes, was a farce. It was over before it began, a fleeting brush against the sublime, tainted by the knowledge that we had been duped. The photographers, those modern-day alchemists, tried to turn our moments of bliss into gold, but their greed left a bitter aftertaste, spoiling the memory like a rotten apple in a barrel of fresh fruit. And the animals, oh, the dear animals, they swam in circles, their smiles etched with the weariness of captivity. It was a gilded cage, this park, where the price of admission was the dignity of those we had come to adore. The dolphins, those celestial dancers of the sea, moved not with the wild abandon of freedom, but with the listless compliance of those bound by chains unseen. As I stood there, watching the dolphins leap and twirl, I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of sorrow. It was as if the very essence of their being was being siphoned off to fill the coffers of those who saw them not as sentient beings, but as commodities to be exploited. The enclosures were prisons, and we, the unwitting spectators, were mere pawns in a game played by those who worshipped at the altar of greed. The food, a bland afterthought, was a testament to the park's disregard for the sensory pleasures of their guests. It lay on
The businesses near Sealanya Dolphinpark Seapark, Sealanya, feel like a practical joke that forgot to end. I walked out of the park gates, expecting ice cream smiles and postcard niceness. Instead, I got the distinct impression that every cash register in the postcode had been rehearsing the same grim punchline, "Welcome. Now hand over your wallet and lower your expectations." The air itself smells of sun cream and suspicion. Start with the shopping. Sealanya Mall squats 5 minutes up the road, a concrete slab that calls itself a shopping and entertainment center. The way a soggy sandwich calls itself dinner. Inside, the price tags appear to be written in invisible ink that only reveals itself after the card has been charged. A woman bought a stack of summer blouses at the Ipkoil boutique, noticed at the hotel that the total was almost 1,000 lira higher than the shelf stickers. And when she marched back the next morning, the staff played 3 hours of "let us check the cameras tomorrow." She got the money back eventually, but no apology, just the dead-eyed stare of people who have done this so often, these muscle memory. Another visitor picked up what looked like leather slippers, the sole peeled off before he reached the taxi rank. Like the shoes were late for an appointment with the bin. The mall's escalators wheeze. The air conditioning gives up in July. And if you ask for help in English, the most common reply is a slow headshake that somehow blames you for being born in the wrong country. Russians, Kazakhs, Poles, Brits, everybody leaves with the same faint sense of having been mugged in slow motion. Hotels are no kinder. Sealanya Beach Spa advertises 5 stars, ultra all-inclusive, the sort of phrase that sounds luxurious until you realize it just means all your disappointment is included too. The buffet repeats itself like a boring dream, yesterday's chicken reborn as today's curry, rice that tastes of fridge, fish that sends you to the toilet at 3 a.m. and then to the doctor for a €300 antibiotic drip. One guest asked for an Aperol spritz. The bartender rang the manager. The manager rang a calculator. And suddenly, the cocktail cost whatever number he had last seen on a license plate. Bed sheets are changed less often than the flower vases. The beach is a gray strip of ash, littered with cigarette butts. Russian boomboxes duel with Turkish disco until 11:30. And if you are not German, the staff will look through you as though you are made of glass. A small man in a suit introduces himself as the manager, tells you to upgrade to Sea View for extra cash, and then forgets how to say goodbye when you leave at dawn. The spa, by the way, smells of chlorine and broken promises. When you tire of being overcharged, you head for the seafront cafes. But Cup Store Sealanya is waiting with its own twist on hospitality. The menu promises a mountain of salad. The plate arrives as a lonely iceberg leaf swimming in tap water. You send it back. The waiter shrugs as if you have insulted his mother. Burgers reach the table cold, and when you mention it, the staff become theatrically aggressive, waving spatulas like minor characters in a soap opera. One waitress picked up a customer's drink, sipped it to check whether he was lying about the recipe, then slammed the same glass back in front of him, announcing, "This is correct." They do not speak English. They do not speak patience. But they do speak the universal language of pay anyway. A spaghetti dish arrives naked. No herbs, no salt, just noodles and a snowflake of tasteless cheese. Ask for sauce. And they will charge you for the privilege of saving their reputation. Children get barked at. Parents get glared at. And the manager's smile is stored somewhere off-site. Even the souvenir shacks join the pylon. Flannels' shop looks harmless. Rows of fake Nikes, neon bikinis, bottles of lukewarm Fs. But step inside, and the owner shadows you like a private detective.
"Good price, cheap price," he whispers, circling until you wonder whether the clothes are stolen or you are. Ask for a discount and he flips the get out. He will block you on Instagram if you query stock. And if he discovers you are staying in a budget hotel, the price of those trainers jumps €30 in mid-sentence. The creep factor is so high that tourists back out sideways, still clutching their wallets in defensive position. Put it all together and the neighborhood feels rigged.
You know, it's kind of ironic, isn't it? We come to places like Sealanya, Dolphinpark, Seapark, Alanya, expecting to create happy memories, but underneath the fun, there's this whole other world of trickery going on. It's like you're trying to enjoy the dolphins and then bam, you're hit with a scam. Take, for instance, the food safety scandal that rocked the area. I can't even believe it, but there was this place producing amalgam and guess what? Toilet water was leaking into it. It's just gross, you know. I mean, can you imagine getting sick on your holiday because of something like that? It's not just unfair, it's dangerous. I bet the tourists who bought that drink had no idea what they were sipping on, and after they found out, I can only imagine the horror and the angry reviews they must have left the shop. I am pretty sure it got shut down, but the damage to the area's reputation, that's probably still floating around like a bad smell. Then there's the whole counterfeit goods drama. It's like walking through a maze of fakes, with shops around Sealanya, Dolphinpark, Seapark, Alanya, trying to sell you designer bags and clothes that are about as authentic as a $3 bill. Tourists, lured by the promise of a deal, probably felt excited at first, only to realize later that they've been duped. And when the brand lawyers came knocking, shutting down shops, I bet those same tourists felt a mix of vindication and frustration. But the sellers, they likely just reopened somewhere else. It's a never-ending game of cat and mouse, and the tourists are the ones getting played. And don't even get me started on the food poisoning incidents. Picture this: you on holiday, you want to try some local cuisine, so you grab a DRM from a vendor. Seems harmless, right? Wrong.